Well, it's been almost a month since two dams in Midland County failed, leaving devastation in its wake. The dam's controversial owner says he did all he could to keep the dam safe. But tonight, lake residents are telling a different story. 7 investigator Ross Jones live tonight with the very latest on this. Ross?
Dave, good evening. Before the Edenville and Sanford dams failed, they generated revenue that the owner kept to himself. But when it came to the expenses to keep those dams running, well, the story was different.
Our concern right now is saving our town, helping people who've lost everything.
As thousands try to rebuild after last month's failure of the Edenville and Sanford dams, questions over who's to blame continue to swirl. Dam owner Lee Mueller failed to heed regulators' warnings for years, but Mueller continues to point the finger at the state, who he says got in the way of making needed repairs.
We knew that the dams were not being maintained properly.
But residents of Sanford Lake remember it differently than Mueller. Long before the dams failed, they say he wanted them to pay for repairs of a dam that he owned.
He doesn't really care for the well-being of the people who live on and around his lakes.
For 30 years, Joe MANELIS has lived on Sanford Lake and remembers back in 2011 when the Sanford Dam was supposed to be repaired. Mueller had already paid about $150,000 to fix it, but the rest, he said, was going to have to come from them.
He basically was telling people that if you wanted to live on a lake, it might have to cost you some money.
And he wasn't just a few dollars short. Mueller needed another $83,000. Back in 2011, he told the Saginaw News, if you're a member of a golf club, you pay to keep the golf course in usable condition. If you live around a lake that's created by a civil structure, somebody has to pay for the dam.
Did that make any sense to you?
No. I thought it was extortion, quite frankly. When he makes a profit, he doesn't pass any of that profit on to us. Why should he pass any of his expenses on to us?
Ultimately, he did. Lake residents swallowed hard and pooled together the $83,000. 9 years later, the dam would fail, along with the neighboring Edenville Dam, after warnings to increase its spillway capacity were ignored.
It's still hard to wrap my head around the fact that you have an individual that owns these dams. Here's your worst case scenario if you've got the wrong owner.
Now, we tried to talk to Lee Mueller. We were not successful, but his attorney told us that his client tried for years and years to secure public government grants to help with some of those repairs, grants that never came. We're live tonight. I'm Ross Jones, 7 Action News.
Tough situation for so many people. Thank you so much, Ross.